I'm Aisha, and I host game nights for introverts and those who are just kind of getting into board game space, especially focused on meeting new people and friendships. I just hosted my game night at a boba place because it's super cute, and the theme is kind of like games and gab, right? So we are there to kind of spill the tea on whatever we want to talk about. So if there's any new hobbies that you have going on, if you just saw a really good movie or TV show you want to talk about, something that you're like, I've been dying to talk about this and I want to talk about this with someone. So this one I've done before, and I was like, I think this is a really cool idea. We'll go to different like tea places and we'll spill the tea. There were a few things that happened that I could have prepared for, so I just want to get into that. Just waking up and we got to get prepped for game night tonight, so I'm really excited. I only got a few things ready. So setting up for the event beforehand was a bit challenging just because when I have to do prep, I procrastinate. That's something I know I do. I got to figure this out. So the night before I started, but literally the day of, I had maybe 10% done. It was not good. So the day of, my game night's not until the evening, so on Saturday, so I did have Saturday morning to work on it. This is when, I kick in finally because I procrastinated for so long. So I'm running around getting all the games. That part was easy. We checked the attendees. We had about a dozen or so people coming, a dozen or less. So I knew what games to pack. Now that I've been doing this over a year, I don't need to bring 50 games. I choose the games for the evening that we'll be playing, and a few different options for each. And since we had maybe 12 people max, I knew we could do 2 groups of 6, 3 groups of 4. It just really depended on the themes. I was ready for that. Now you're going to see my collection that I currently have. I'm a little embarrassed of it because it's not like others I've seen that are like curated and they look really like organized and I'd say fancy. Like, this is the best we can do. We're working with what we have. I've got a lot of our games from yard sales and thrift stores, and of course local game stores as well. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this space what we want it to be. I'm trying to think with if there's a new one running our own business. It's hard with time and everything, and I know I can be better, but this is just what we're working with right now. Similar to my board games, I do have our card games organized. These boxes that I love using are from, I think it's from Michael's or another kind of craft store. Highly recommend you get one of these and a label maker because it keeps everything neat. Of course, I love colors, but what I really like is we put an extra label underneath on the box itself. So when games are missing, I'm like, which game is it? Boom, I can see it. And then when we first started doing this, I would bring I want to say like 40 games plus every single one of our card games to game night every time. Now that I've been doing this for over a year, it's a lot more curated and I know how to cut down the amount of games that I need. This helps a ton too. Instead of bringing the entire box, literally I could just grab a couple of these and I'm ready to go. And also labeling how many players that's on it. Super, super helpful. I've actually thought about designing my own labels where it's like name of the game, how many players, how long it takes, so I can put it on every single game I have, almost like a library. So when you look through my collection, you can easily tell what game it is. Everything ready for game night. We have the games that I chose specifically for tonight. We also have our name tags. Everything is ready to get loaded in the car. Breakfast has been eaten, and since I have a few hours before game night, I have to recharge, especially with tonight's theme, and just with my social battery because it takes a lot out of me, so I want to make sure I can bring it and bring the energy to game night and make sure everyone else is having fun. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to take a break, watch some anime, going to game night. To game night. Don't mind this. This is one of those like stain things. I'm gonna take it off. It's gonna look really cute. Not that I don't like the goth vibe. I just don't know if I can pull it off. Anyways, we're going to game night. Today's theme is games and gab, where everyone who comes, if there's anything you're obsessed with, if there's something you've been dying to talk about, this is a game night. because we're all going to talk about like TV, movies, hobbies, what we're into, what we like, what we don't like, rants, stuff like that. So I'm really excited, and I want to make sure that the games that we choose allow for conversation, right? So some board games are a little bit heavier and need more, I guess, strategy and thinking. So for the appetizer game, the first warm-up game, I'm thinking piles. Also would take Tapple. Also would do, is there another one? I think those are the ones. For the meat and potatoes, I was gonna do, what is it? I like Bears and Bees. That's a really fun strategy game that is not, it can pretty much be a nonverbal game. The other one is Wavelength, because that always gets people talking. And the one I always lean on, oh, Rummy Cup. That's my favorite one, and we just got one that can play for 6 people, so that's exciting. I think that we have like 12 people coming or so, and there's always a chance for last minute tickets, so Rummy Cup could work. I'll just break us up into 2 groups, and I keep trying to think about like, all right, I gotta have a conversation to talk about. Oh, I'm bringing conversation cards too, so if things have like a lull, I can like pull those out. I also want to share mine because I want to feel like I'm prepared to be like, hey, this is what I'm obsessed about, just to open the room up, right? Because we're all introverts. And I'm going to talk about our wedding because we're getting married in next year in the spring. And obviously the wedding is going to be board game themed, but right now it's still early enough where we're just planning out our engagement photos. Well, I don't know if it's engagement photos. It's the picture that you put on your save the date. So whatever that is. And then I thought it'd be cool to do it at a game store, but also it's like, or I could like be sitting cute and have like a stack of board games next to me in a dress. Maybe you're like very serious, but also like very colorful. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. But yeah, so that's our objective also, is to plan a photo shoot for our wedding. So we're just pulling up right now. It is, wow, we're like hella early. It's like 45 minutes before the event. So I'm excited, and we gotta do this. Any other thoughts? That's all we got. We'll keep you updated. Let's do this. Take 2. We have to go back to the house because we need a table. I have to peel this off. I felt like we had a table. I don't know if I communicated that to my partner. But we're lucky because we live in the neighborhood. We're hella early, so we should still be half an hour. And there's really no setup to this besides just taking our games out. So yeah, we're gonna head back home. This happens sometimes, you know? No one's perfect. And since we're so close, I'm not having my anxiety freak out, which I always do. I feel really calm because I know it's only like 10 minutes away. Which, as you follow along, you will find that is not my usual. See?
Cute. Yeah.
And it doesn't come up. Because it's a C. I just got this at Costco the other day, and I liked it so much I went and got another one because they're on sale. And it had the black star. And you know what that means if you're a Costco person? It's going to be discontinued. And I like it so much, I'm thinking about going again. Because I don't really wear makeup. And I do like having my lips nice. So, cheers. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, I ordered some puzzles. These are smaller puzzles. I want to say 100.
Yep.
100 pieces. It's 8 by 10, 8.5 by 10 when it's done. And I got the cute, colorful ones that are like women focused, women cute, women positive. I used to bring puzzles for passive play. So for people who are kind of like nervous, or they get there super early because we're introverted or shy, oh, here's a puzzle. We can start doing this puzzle while we hang out and kind of like open up conversation. That has been working really well at my game nights. However, the puzzles I was bringing were like 1,000 pieces, and it's not satisfying when you're like working on a puzzle and then you can't really finish it. Especially when I'm like, hey, we're doing games now. Like, it's less challenging and more satisfying, right? Because what's the point of the puzzle? Is so that people can work on something together, feel a sense of accomplishment as well if they'd like. What I don't want is them being like oh, I really want to do this puzzle, and now the game's running or whatever. And they can do the puzzle throughout the game night. I always say at my game nights, you can always leave for any reason. So if you're just kind of like, oh, I'm not feeling it, go play a puzzle, that's totally fine. But we have someone who comes to game nights, and he's very, let's see, we have someone that comes to game night, and they're very, I guess I'd say introverted and super, super shy and very, very quiet. And they don't always want to just jump into a game. They kind of like to wander around before they take a seat. That's totally fine. And when I brought a puzzle to a game night, they like really gravitated toward that. And I forget which night it was, but they spent the entire game night doing that puzzle and finished it. And I was like, okay, I want to make sure, especially if I see this person and they're on my list for the game night, I always make sure to have a puzzle. And because of them, it kind of inspired me to be like, there's other people like them who maybe they're really feeling the puzzle. It was really nice because as they were working on it, people would be like in and out also working on the puzzle, which I thought was really beautiful. And even I was like, when's this game gonna be over? I want to get in on that puzzle. So it was really fun. So yeah, that's why I bring puzzles all the time, specifically for this person who also inspired me to be like, yeah, why not? Like, yeah, there's board games. It's not gonna hurt to have a puzzle. It really just depends on how much table space we have, and more times than not, we have enough space. So, and I'm gonna see how those go. I am always cautiously optimistic. I love getting my hopes up. Just kidding. But I'm very, very optimistic, and I think it's gonna be cool. And also, it's like, all right, if I set it up and I'm nervous, if nobody does the puzzle, that's okay too. You know, it's just there as a alternative. Or maybe something towards the end of the night. Anyhow, that's why I bring puzzles. I'm gonna try to make this every game night. The ones I ordered, I got like 10 different ones. So if this person does one, they won't get bored if they come to a few nights. And my thought is, since they're so small, like look how cute and small this is, I'm gonna bring 2 every game night in case they were like, I don't want to do this one, or I already did this one, you know. That's just me. I'm an overthinker, so I was like, yeah, these are small enough. I can bring 2. I'm bringing a lot of board games. That takes up a lot of space, and this is nothing. So we're gonna make 2 every game night, and just leave them out for people like him, and also me if I want to do a puzzle. So yeah. Anywho, we're almost to the house. We're gonna get that table, and then take 2 back to the venue. We got the table. We're just pulling up. We have the table right there. There's a table. We're just pulling up. Take 2. Let's do this. All we have to do is empty out the car, get there. We are 22 minutes before the event's gonna start, and it's gonna take me like 7 minutes to set up. So, yay. Setup did end up taking a little bit more than 7 minutes. I do tend to underestimate how long things will take, but we got the system down, so it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I am just anxious before every event, so that always comes out literally 15 minutes before. First person came and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so early. And I looked, I'm like, you're 5 minutes early. You are fine. We have a puzzle we can start on. You can go get some boba if you want. So that part went smoothly. As we're waiting for people to come in, I don't usually like to start immediately, just so we can have a little bit of conversation, get to know each other, and wait for everyone to get there. Because sometimes there's cancellations, and my brain is always thinking about the count for teams, and I want to make sure there's no odd one out unless they don't want to play, right? They just came to like listen to gossip and all that, which is totally fine. So everyone gets there. My partner starts with Piles. That's an easy intro game with the larger group. I have a smaller group, so I was like, why don't we start with an easy game? We're gonna do, oh my gosh, what game did we play? Because he did Piles, Rummy Cub. I did Bears and Bees. I believe that was the first game we did because it was a quieter game, and it is strategy, but you are able to talk throughout the game. So we had everything. We get to the event, and my partner's like, oh, I forgot to bring the table, because we usually bring a 6-foot table so you can sign in and everything. And I was like, well, they have a table here. We might get lucky. Why don't you run in and just see if they have like enough space? So he runs in really quick, comes back, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna need the table. Normally this would be a big deal because before events, I am like ridden with anxiety because I'm just nervous. I gotta bring it to the event. I gotta have my energy up because I want to make sure everyone's having a good time. And I'm always worried. Every event, it's not getting better. I've done this over a year. Every single event, I am stressed right before. That's just part of it. So I was like, well, luckily for us, the event is hella close by my house. If this event was in Salt Lake City, I think I would have been screwed, and I'd have to be like, let's just go buy a table because we cannot be late to our own event. Like, that's crazy. Or and he has to end up going without me, so then I have to do everything with setup myself, which just is another layer of me being stressed out. So luckily, we were able to go back and come back. One, because we were super early, which is awesome, and because we were in the neighborhood. So went back, got the table, came back, not a big deal, set up everything. I placed, I got the camera set up, which I don't usually do, but I'm trying new things. Now, this is something that I am realizing I'm not good at all. I talk a lot, but I don't ask questions. I'm happy to share stories, to make jokes, make people laugh. I am not curious, I guess, enough. I just feel like, oh my gosh, nobody's talking, I'm bombing, is how I feel. Which isn't how conversations go, right? So I was like, Aisha, we are going to have a handful of questions ready, or something where you can like lean on in case you're feeling this, like, I gotta tell another story, I gotta make people laugh energy, which isn't the vibe. So this time I had a game that I found that I had on my list for a very long time, and I was like, why don't I bring this? Let me grab it for you. One sec. Yes. Okay, I got it. I believe it's pronounced Hygge game. It's for cozy conversations, and I was like, this will totally be a good crutch if I feel the need to just talk forever. This sounds ridiculous. So as we're starting the Bears and Bees game, I was like, hey guys, I have conversation cards. I'll just be asking throughout the game. You guys can pick as well. But I didn't want it to feel forced. My energy, I feel, can be a little aggressive, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term. Having an existential crisis right now. But it could be kind of like, I'm anxious, right? I feel like I'm like, oh, I want you guys to have a good time. I'm pumped up. And they're kind of like, let me settle in. And I'm like, oh yeah, yes, we're all introverts. I'm just hyped up. Anywho, we start playing the game. It's really quiet. I'm getting like the itch of like, oh, I gotta say something. I'm the host. I need to be here. I need to bring it. Someone started talking about, oh, what's your favorite board game? And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just watching, I'm listening. I'm like, Aisha, you need to listen. You need to ask questions. Those are two things I struggle with. It's just a day's struggle. I know I need to be better. I am aware. I am working on it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll share my favorite. And after I shared mine, after everyone went, I went last. And the same girl, she was like, oh, well, why do you like that one? And I'm like, damn, she's really good at asking questions. I'm telling you, this does not happen naturally to me. I usually have to have 4 or 5 questions just in my mind to be like aware. Okay, a beat has happened. You answered something. Answer a follow-up question that you were listening, and you have a question that's relevant or adjacent, right? Don't always feel like you have to share something. So, anywho, I pulled these out, and I was like, we got this. Now, what I didn't know is how awkward I am. Okay, I feel like I should know that, but no, I don't. So, I have the cards out, and I'm like, okay, well, let's pick a card. And on this, it has 3 different options to choose from. So I'm just like, here's the 3. I'm going to read you these 3. And you tell me if these sound interesting, all right? What song tends to make you tear up? What are the 2 most important things for people to be happy? And describe a time when you did something truly kind for another person. So I don't want to do the song that makes you tear up because I feel like it's really like emotionally heavy. And I don't want, what's the word? I don't want to do that thing where you try to like trauma bond people, you know? So I was like, maybe not that one. I do like, what's the 2 most important things for people to be happy? That question went well. Oh, here's a big mistake I did. And if you know how to like not do this, please send me your wisdom. I need it because this is what I did. We're playing Bears and Bees, right? Okay. So here's what I did, which I felt bombed. We're playing Bears and Bees, it's quiet, and I go, well, does anyone have anything that they're obsessed with or hobbies they'd like to talk about? Crickets. And I'm like, is that too aggressive? Maybe I should have been more specific, right? Has anyone seen any movies or TV lately that they like? I'm trying, and it's crickets. And I'm like, that's literally what I put on the flyer, so I was hoping that people would like come prepared. But then also it's my job to be a good host and to ideally get everyone interacting with each other. So after those two bombed, the nice girl that was asking questions earlier goes, I can't think of any right now. Why don't you share yours? And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, she gave me permission to talk. I'm going to do it. I'm going to answer one of these questions. So we went over that. I shared. I forget what I said. And it opened up naturally. And I was like, okay, maybe I don't need these conversation cards, but I'll bank a couple of these cards like with some good questions just in case. We play the game naturally. Conversation opens up naturally. I felt awkward, but I always feel awkward. The feedback I get after an event is like, oh my gosh, it was so great. So that's just more internal work I need to do. I checked in on the other group. They played Rummy Cub. It was beautiful. The boba was good. Everyone was so nice. And a lot of the people are like, I've seen you and I've watched you, but I've been like nervous about coming to an event. And I'm like, I got you because that happens a lot and that's totally normal. I tend to like stock events I want to go to, but like pulling the trigger can be hard. So it was really gratifying to hear that from someone that was like, I've been wanting to go, I've just been nervous. And I'm like, I'm glad you came. I hope you had a good time. You know, I tried really hard, LOL. So right now, these conversation cards, I want to have them as like a back pocket, but I know there's a better way to do this. So if you have any advice, that would be helpful. I feel if you have any advice on how to like be a good conversationalist, on how to be curious and ask questions, like I understand this is something we've learned when we were little. I feel like as an adult, a fully formed adult, I should know how to do this. But I'm telling you, every single time it's work, and it's a lot of work for me. So this is how it goes in my brain, if this helps. Okay, I go, Aisha, we're going to an event. You need to be on. You need to be interesting if you can. Make people feel comfortable. My partner's always like, you just need to be yourself. I understand that, but I'm a try hard and I try really hard to be on. So knowing that, just like I said earlier, I'm in the car and I'm like, you've got to work on asking questions. And I'm asking him, what kind of questions do you think are good? He's like, what? And I'm like, okay, I'm insane. So I'm like, okay, let's have like 2 or 3 questions just so you're ready. We can do this. So my first question, which was the 2 I bombed on, that were like, oh, what kind of hobbies do you have? Do you have any hobbies that you like to do in your free time? I thought that was a good question. It was not, or maybe the vibes were just super shy, you know? I have 3 questions. I do this thing where if you're talking to me, I really have to focus. This could be like an ADHD thing, but I'm either thinking of what I'm going to say next. So for me to try to stop that and listen to what you're saying is so hard. It's something I have to actively try to quiet the noise and listen. So I'm like, okay, try to make eye contact if you can. That's something I struggle with. And what are they saying? She's sharing about when she grew up and she liked playing this game with her family. Okay, that is really interesting. What do you like about that? What question can we ask for that? But it's almost like for me, this is homework. This is not natural for me to do this, and I know this. So me doing that drains me a lot, but I'm working on it. So if there's anything you can do to help, that would be awesome. If you're like me and also have this similar thing, I'd also love to hear from you because it happens every day and I don't realize it till I'm driving home and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't ask any questions. Oh my gosh, they probably think I'm like conceited and just like talk about myself a lot, but that's just because I'm anxious and I feel like I'm bombing and I need to fill the time. That was the struggle for this week. That was my recap for the boba event. Otherwise, the feedback I got, everyone had a really good time. I think everyone came that attended, which is amazing. I know things happen. And I had a really good time. So I feel very good. I tried really hard. I am going to try to be better about asking questions, active listening, and if I am going to have these conversation cards, maybe I like pull some out to be on the top so that I feel comfortable being like, okay, this is a good question to ask, right? I feel so nerdy. But yeah, I think it'd be helpful just so I could be like, oh, have you ever cut your own hair? You know? And then I would follow up with like, but you're not having a mental breakdown, LOL, because I think we've all done that. Or just me. Anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Until then, I will see you next time.